A challenge to the possible, Maxwell Chikumbutso's electric car. Zimbabwe, a nation grappling with energy poverty, becomes the unlikely stage for a scientific showdown. Maxwell Chikumbutso, a self-taught inventor, unveils his creation, an electric car seemingly powered by radio waves. No combustion engine, no charging stations, just a device shrouded in secrecy that defies our understanding of physics.
Batteries are talking about energy density. The reason electric cars are very expensive is the battery. 70% of the cost of the electric car is a battery, which weighs about half of its weight. So we managed to erase that. We don't need much energy. We need only less energy. That means our cars can even carry a heavy load now, because the battery is eliminated, but we've got a starter battery. Technology, the pass-through that the only less energy will go to recharge the battery, but the greater power of the energy powers the device. So that is the beauty of it now. If you understand what I'm saying, those people who understand like how batteries work. For example, in a car, in a typical car, the acid batteries, they've got your alternator has got a regulator. So when you are using a battery, that means the alternator is off. But when we are using, when a battery is depleted, for you to recharge and use it at once, it is very impossible. They don't have that technology yet. We have got it. That's the pass-through technology that you can now take power from it and recharging it at the same time. So the regulator now cuts off the power that has to be coming from the battery, and it will redirect it direct to the car from the alternator. So this is what we have done. We have made it possible that a small battery can now do something that is big. Then on the car, I think we're going to demonstrate all the cars that you know. If you go to Kaya right now, all their cars, you have to plug in either a DC charging station or an AC charging station. Our car is the first car. This is a generator. I think if you can go to the fridge, you can see he's going to plug in, and you will see that the fridge is going to be powered by a car. Like I said, you can buy a car. You don't need to have a generator at your home. You use your car.
Okay. Right, we test it.
That's the car.
So is the microsonic device?
What we've done, like we said, the microsonic energy device is the invention that we have done, and we are trying to protect it. We have embedded it in the vehicle. Okay. Yes. And it has got a self-destructive technology. On the 150 wires on this car, if you try to tamper with 5 of them, which we classify, you destroy the microsonic energy device, both on the software and the hardware. That's how we are protecting the technology, because we couldn't get a patent.
So more like electricity?
Yes, it's encrypted. It's on. It's on right now.
It's on.
Oh, yes. So there are no mechanical, there are no like moving parts.
The only moving part that you will see on this car is a reduction gearbox, but you don't have to maintain it or to service.
The generator doesn't have.
The generator doesn't have any moving parts. Usually those type of devices that are known as 0-point energy. So you cannot even maintain it, you cannot service it, because there is no friction that is happening.
Wow.
Working on ways on how to protect the technology in the event that we use it. For example, we go in a country, we set up a power station, there's a hostile takeover, what it, how do you protect our technology? That's why we took the trade secret route. Our patent is kept, our design is kept, the recipe is kept in 3 countries, and the people who are keeping it, they don't even know each other. The second thing, we try to protect the hardware side, because if the engineer remove like a circuit board, you can trace, you can see that this is a rectifier, this is a microchip. So we put a small amount of a detonator to say, but that cannot harm anyone. But if you just try to tamper with it, you blow it. That's part of the circuit board. Also on the software, if someone can have the source code, he can try to do reverse engineering. So we work on an algorithm that if you tamper with certain wires on the vehicle, you are going to destroy the microsonic energy device. Yeah. You cannot tamper with it. If you tamper with it, then you lose your investment.
Question, what would be the market price?
Right now we're still doing costing. I think before the end of this week we'll have the final costing, but it's going to be cheaper. That I can.
So which products do you have on the market?
The car.
Are the batteries on the market?
The greener power grid machines are on the market, the TVs are on the market, the bikes are on the market, the cars as well, they are on the market.
So when you say on the market, where would one buy one?
Yeah.
So if you wanted to buy a battery, where would you go?
Right now we're doing, I think you saw the company that we partnered like in Zimbabwe, which was doing that video. That's our agent concentrating marketing. But right now we are using the Tesla model, which we are using that we don't want to have middlemen, because the prices will be so high to the end users. So we're saying people, they will buy straight from safe in other countries, then they will get their products there. For example, we are setting up in Switzerland, so it is going to cover Europe, in some parts of Europe. Then we have got other countries that we pick up like in Central Africa, East Africa, and Northern Africa, which we will cover differently.
So what's the maximum speed for this?
It's in answers we can we're going back.
Yeah.
It's enough.
Sorry.
We've been trying.
But it's also very dangerous from a fumes perspective. You know, it's poisonous. So, we formulated a partnership with specifically Supercat battery manufacturers in South Africa. The West, I don't know if you heard of West. So that's one of the questions. So if you're interested, we can always do something to see how we can further test it. We've tested so far lithium-ion batteries. We've tested the solid-state lithium-ion battery in our system at Spago. So there's a lot of stuff that we've learned from just the batteries itself. So if you want to lean on us from that perspective, we're there for you. Okay?
Thank you very much. I think it's something that we'll be looking forward to do. I think you saw when we did the first machine that Foster Gamble managed to test, it had 22 batteries, isn't it?
Yeah, 220 volts.
Yeah, you see, so 22 batteries, that was huge. But right now we're using very small batteries. Yeah. So as technology evolves, I think we will discuss further, and we are keen to hear from you. Then we can see how best we can work together. Cheers.
You were talking about this microsonic device. I wanted to know, it's generating power from electromagnetic waves, that's what you're saying? So I want to know, is it going to work the same regardless of where I am? So if I'm in a place where there is no signal or whatever, is it going to work the same?
Definitely it's going to work. The only place that we know it won't work because of lack of penetration is like under the mine. But if the machine is on the surface, then you run the cables inside, then you're going to be okay.
So which signal is this? This electromagnetic signal, yes. Where is it coming from?
What we have done, we have classified it as a trade secret because that's where the IP lays. The moment we start to tell you what kind of you will try to work on it. So that's where the IP is.
Some of our stories have been dismissed. I work for international media myself. I remember getting to write an apology to scientists in a certain country who are saying that they can't prove your technology. This has been the battle. When people say your microsonic technology can't be proven, what do you say to that?
You know, thank you very much for it, because we had not found ways of protecting the IP, like I said. From 2015 to 2024 right now, we have been working. Foster Gambo has been the first foreigner to have the privilege of working on the machine for those same 3 years. So right now we have put in a number of tests that we're going to be doing soon after this launch. As you know, in science we say, prove it. It's not about arguing it, prove it. So we drive our car to Cairo, live on TV, everyone watching. That would be enough proof. And right now we're doing this because we are now on the commercial level. So I understand what you're saying very well. And also the other thing, my brother, that I want to tell you, I think I've explained to you the issues of, like when I said the Henry Ford story. You know, Carl Benz, when he did his car, they said don't drive it, it's very dangerous. The horse-driven chariots, whatever the carriers, were much safer. Until his wife took the car and drove it to his parents, to her parents' home. So sometimes you have to take those bold moves to just prove, you see. That day when Beta drove that 60-mile journey, it changed everything. It changed everything. So what I have seen in my journey is we have got the cabals who are not happy about us. Most of these oil companies, they are not happy. They see us as a threat to their technology. Solar is not a threat because solar is very expensive. You need so many panels, you need so many batteries, whatever. We are talking of something smaller that you can even carry around by powering your house. So you are threatening someone's business. Those people were the people who were fighting us in the past, like you say, even the scientists. You know, there are people who say we are not open to anything to say. I think that's the term that I can use. They say what is there, but we are not going to approve something. We have seen a lot. We have seen a lot.
I think Max, from an academic point of view, theories are developed by people, and then theories are approved. You know, after you develop the theory, it has to be tested, and then you actually affirm the theory. So here is a car that is there. So to answer the question, how do you prove it? I mean, there's no car in the world that has got unlimited driving range.
Could this be the energy revolution we've been waiting for, or are we witnessing an elaborate hoax? The world watches with bated breath. Chikumbutso claims his invention can power a car for 10,000 kilometers on a single charge, drawing energy from the invisible waves that surround us. He insists this is not magic, but science, albeit one that challenges our current paradigms. His claims have ignited a firestorm of debate, pitting him against physicists who dismiss his work as impossible. The laws of thermodynamics, they argue, are clear. Energy cannot be created from nothing. Skepticism is understandable. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and Chikumbutso has been reluctant to fully reveal his technology. He cites the need to protect his intellectual property and fears that his invention will be stolen or suppressed. This lack of transparency fuels suspicion, leaving the scientific community unconvinced. Yet something about Chikumbutso's quiet confidence, His unwavering belief in his invention gives us pause. Could there be more to this story than meets the eye? Could this be a case of a lone genius challenging the established order, a modern-day David confronting the Goliath of scientific dogma? Echoes of disbelief from flight to fusion. History is littered with the wreckage of dreams dismissed as impossible. Galileo Galilei faced ridicule for daring to challenge the Earth-centric model of the universe. The Wright brothers were met with skepticism when they claimed to have achieved powered flight. Even Albert Einstein's revolutionary theory of relativity was initially met with resistance from the scientific establishment. Time and again, what was once deemed impossible has become reality. The human spirit, driven by curiosity and a thirst for knowledge, has repeatedly shattered the shackles of conventional wisdom. Is it so inconceivable, then, that our understanding of physics, while impressive, might still be incomplete? Could there be phenomena, forces and possibilities that we have yet to grasp, waiting to be discovered by minds willing to venture beyond the boundaries of the known? The story of cold fusion offers a cautionary tale. In 1989, two chemists claimed to have achieved nuclear fusion at room temperature, a feat that would revolutionize energy production. Their announcement sparked a frenzy of excitement, but the scientific community remained skeptical. Attempts to replicate their results failed, and the controversy eventually faded, leaving behind a legacy of doubt and accusations of scientific misconduct. The case of Maxwell Chikumbutso, while echoing these historical precedents, also carries a distinct urgency. Our planet is facing an unprecedented environmental crisis, driven in large part by our reliance on fossil fuels. The need for clean, sustainable energy is more pressing than ever. If Chikumbutso's claims are true, his invention could be the breakthrough we desperately need. But if he's wrong, if his claims are based on delusion or deception, then the hope he has ignited could quickly turn to disillusionment. The crucible of science peer review and the quest for truth. Science at its core is a process of discovery, a relentless pursuit of knowledge driven by observation, experimentation, and rigorous analysis. Central to this pursuit is the principle of peer review, a system designed to ensure the quality and validity of scientific research. When scientists believe they have made a significant discovery, they submit their findings to peer-reviewed journals where their work is scrutinized by other experts in the field. This process helps to identify errors, validate results, and ensure that only the most robust and credible research is published. However, the peer review system, while essential, is not without its flaws. It can be slow, subject to bias, and resistant to radical new ideas that challenge the status quo. History is replete with examples of groundbreaking discoveries that were initially rejected by peer-reviewed journals, only to be later recognized as major breakthroughs. In the case of Maxwell Chikumbutso, the lack of peer-reviewed data presents a significant obstacle to scientific acceptance. Without the opportunity to examine his methods, replicate his experiments, and independently verify his results, the scientific community remains understandably hesitant to embrace his claims. This is not to say that Chikumbutso's invention should be dismissed out of hand. Extraordinary claims often require extraordinary evidence, and the burden of proof lies with the claimant. Chikumbutso must be willing to subject his work to rigorous, independent scrutiny if he wants his claims to be taken seriously by the scientific community. This includes providing detailed schematics of his device, allowing for independent replication of his experiments, and making his data freely available for analysis. Ultimately, science is a self-correcting process. If Chikumbutso's claims are valid, they will withstand scrutiny. If they are not, they will crumble under the weight of evidence. The pursuit of truth, however, requires transparency, collaboration, and a willingness to challenge our assumptions. The world is watching, waiting to see if Maxwell Chikumbutso's invention can withstand the crucible of scientific inquiry.